Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Virtual Caregiver Celebration in honor of National Family Caregiver Month. We are happy you are joining us today to learn more about the programs, services, and resources for family caregivers. This virtual event is a collaborative with organizations that provide direct support and service provisions for older adults, individuals living with disabilities, individuals living with dementia, and for grandparents raising grandchildren. You are part of 53 million Americans that have taken on the important role to ensure the well-being of another individual. My name is Lita Nelson, and I am the Family Caregiver Support Program statewide coordinator for the Arizona Department of Economic Security, Division of Aging and Adult Services. DES is home to many wonderful programs that cover the lifespan for individuals that qualify and are eligible for short-term services and assistance. The Division of Aging and Adult Services is the designated state unit on aging in Arizona and works in close collaboration with the area agencies on aging, as well as other community-based organizations. How many of you have heard about the area agencies on aging, or AAAs, the Arizona Caregiver Coalition, and the Alzheimer's Association Desert Southwest Chapter, or the Division of Developmental Disabilities, or DDD? I am happy to announce they are here and standing by to share information about their programs, services, and resources. Many of the programs are funded by the Older Americans Act, and as the state unit on aging, DOS ensures that home and community-based services such as ombudsman, legal resources, and Medicare options counseling are offered through your area agencies on aging. They are your direct link to case management. The Family Caregiver Support Program should not be confused with the state Medicaid program referred to as ALTEX, or the Arizona Long-Term Care System. ALTEX is the only program in Arizona that pays caregivers to provide care for their loved ones. The virtual caregiver celebration would not be complete without the partnership and collaboration with the Division of Developmental Disabilities. DDD has many wonderful programs and services that enable individuals living with disabilities to live and thrive in their communities. The Arizona Caregiver Coalition is the caregiver resource line and offers training opportunities, resources, referrals, and respite care services throughout Arizona. The Alzheimer's Association Desert Southwest Chapter is the lifeline for caregivers by providing dementia-focused programs, services, and resources for individuals living with dementia or their family caregivers. Family caregiving is not an easy journey, and each journey is different, but you are not alone. You may have self-identified as a family caregiver for the first time in the past 2 weeks, or you may have been caring for your loved one or your loved ones for the past months, years, or even decades. For caregivers, finding extra time is not a luxury, and we thank you for your time this morning. I will now present the 2021 Arizona Family Caregiver Month proclamation. And just as an aside, this proclamation is currently in the governor's queue to be signed later this week and will officially be available by with its official signature when it is signed. So give me just a moment to bring that up. This is the Arizona Family Caregiver Month proclamation. Whereas In the United States, 1 in 5 Americans, or over 53 million individuals, are family caregivers providing informal and unpaid care in all socioeconomic groups across the lifespan, with 24% providing care to 2 or more recipients. And whereas in Arizona, over 800,000 diverse family caregivers are providing informal care in all socioeconomic groups across the lifespan, totaling over $9 billion in unpaid care. And whereas in Arizona, family caregivers include 62,433 grandparents raising their grandchildren. And in the 219,263 homes where a relative is the head of household, family caregivers include kinship caregivers that are responsible for the childhood development, financial security, educational success, and well-being of children living with trauma. And whereas worldwide, family caregivers continue caregiving in crisis during an ongoing pandemic and are challenged with safeguarding themselves, children, older adults, individuals with disabilities, and individuals with chronic conditions who are at risk of complications or death if infected with the novel coronavirus or COVID-19. And whereas family caregivers are a vital part of the discharge planning for complicated medical procedures and or for individuals living with dementia or disabilities, and life care planning process for older adults and navigating the complex family court and educational systems for children. And whereas assisting Arizona family caregivers with access to caregiver services and resources, respite care programs, and training will improve skills to enhance the likelihood of successfully aging in place with their loved ones and keeping children safely within their own families. And whereas expanding partnerships to Arizona's public and private sectors to better equip businesses to continue to employ working family caregivers to help decrease the loss of productivity by exploring increased employer flexibility and access to caregiver resources. And whereas in the month of November, whereas the month of November is observed as a tribute to Arizona family caregivers by honoring the selfless and countless hours of care they provide each day, and for thanking them for continuing to care for vulnerable Arizonans. And once again, this proclamation is due to be signed later this week, and it will officially be shared later on as it's available. Thank you very much, and we are happy that you are joining us for the 2021 Virtual Caregiver Celebration. And Barbara, I hand it back to you.
Thank you. Okay, so it looks like our next presenters are Jamie Reddy, who's actually having some technical difficulties this morning. So Ed Schomer with AZIP is going to be providing some information on both the Division of Developmental Disabilities as well as the Arizona Early Intervention Program. Ed? We do see your screen, but
Wonderful.
we're not hearing you.
Nope, wonderful. I wanted to make sure that my screen was available. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much. My name is Ed Schomer. I am the statewide community relations liaison for the Arizona Early Intervention Program, and I'm also here representing the Division of Developmental Disabilities on behalf of Jamie Reddy, who is the community relations manager for the Division of Developmental Disabilities. We wanted to start off by saying thank you to everyone, especially the caregivers. And caregivers to us is not just paid, it's family caregivers. You guys are priceless, beyond appreciated. And let's make sure that you know that you are being seen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't thank you enough, especially coming from the early intervention side and also the Division of Developmental Disabilities. We wanted to share with you just a little bit of what DES is offering also, besides the Division of Developmental Disabilities, besides the Arizona Early Intervention Program, and then also with the Division of Aging and Adult Services. There's many programs throughout DES that many of our members, clients, patients, family members could benefit from. And just to say the least here, some of those programs that are not being discussed today, but that could be offering some of those benefits. Obviously, we have the Division of Aging and Adult Services, which you may hear as DAS. One of the other divisions that you're going to be, that you may not hear of, but may qualify for benefit-wise is the Division of Benefits and Medical Eligibility, as we say, DBEMI. This helps individuals and families achieve independence, self-sufficiency, providing temporary assistance in meeting their basic needs. And then there's the Division of Child Support Services, which is DCSS. This ensures both custodial and non-custodial parents have the support they need to improve their family's economic stability and well-being. And then, of course, another division, which is the Division of Employment and Rehabilitation Services, which is DERS. This is assisting job seekers, employers, child care administration, and second chance employment opportunities, you name it. DES is here to assist everyone on every level. So I'm going to get into now the Arizona Early Intervention Program. We are governed by the Individuals with Disability Education Act, as we say IDEA, and that's Part C. And what we want to address here is that early intervention builds upon and provides supports and resources to assist family members and caregivers to enhance children's learning development through everyday learning opportunities. This here, when we say caregivers, once again, it's family. We serve those birth to 3 years old, and it is so important to start at such an early time in their lives to make sure that they are meeting goals at their chronological age for what is needed at that time. So with early intervention, as we start that process early and we grow into adulthood, what we can do is we can help do those transitions. And one area that I would like to identify, especially in early intervention in the state of Arizona, is citizenship. Because we fall under Part C, we don't care about citizenship. We want to make sure that we are assisting those families, those babies, and those infants and toddlers to make sure that we are transitioning to what their well-being is for their next stage and transition in life. Oops, I keep hitting enter. I'm sorry, excuse me. So as I mentioned, Arizona Early Intervention provides services for those that qualify. It's a referral program and that has not reached 50% of their developmental milestones. Documentation in the caregiving world is very important for assisting services and making sure that we are identifying what is needed, what goals are needed. But for eligibility and the referral, and anyone can refer to the early intervention program, as long as they are identifying a developmental milestone based on their chronological age in one of these domains, which is the physical, sensory.
En lo que es físico, sensorial, cognitivo, comunicación, socioemocional y adaptivo. O si tiene una condición establecida, saber que tiene una probabilidad alta. Si tiene espectro del desorden de autismo, epilepsia, cerebral y otra área que Arizona Early Intervention se refiere. También es para las personas que están dependiendo de sustancias, abuso de sustancias.
So team-based early intervention.
La intervención temprana basada en equipos. Quiero identificar que tenemos un modelo. No solamente son los profesionales, pero sino también la familia y las personas que dan el cuidado. Las personas que dan el cuidado son muy importantes en la intervención temprana. Hay áreas que identificamos como el desarrollo del niño y el documentar todo esto es clave.
Paid, family, etc., are needed to document everything. And documentation does not necessarily mean writing. It also can be videoing. So whatever we can help support these families in receiving services, it's very important to all of us. So the Child Family Assessment of Individualized Family Service Plan, which is IFSP, this is where all documentation, when we are eligible for Arizona Early Intervention Program, we want to make sure that your notes, the caregiver notes, the family notes, etc., are put on this document, an IFSP. We also need to identify the agreements of these individuals and providers, so it always needs to be signed. So we want to make sure, I can't express, caregivers' notes and documentation are so important on the goals and the plans for these little ones. So for more information on Arizona Early Intervention Program, you can always reach out to us via email, via phone, via fax. You can also reach out to myself personally. My information will be given to you at the end of the PowerPoint and the presentation of the Division of Developmental Disabilities. But if you as a community partner, and then when I say community partner, anyone can make a referral, please reach out to us, or you can utilize one of our resources where they are our central referral agency and they're raising special kids. You can also reach out to them via email, via phone. There's also Spanish lines. So we are here to accommodate everyone and anyone. And please refer those little ones, babies, infants, and toddlers that have a developmental delay, a developmental disability, and also substance dependent to Arizona Early Intervention that are birthed to 3 years old. Once again, thank you, caregivers from the early childhood world. We couldn't do it without you. And I'm going to pass it off to my colleague, Jamie Reddy.
Thank you so much, Ed. I appreciate it very, very much. Will you still be running the PowerPoint?
I can if you would like.
Yes, I need you to with my computer problems this morning. Thank you. And is there any way to make it so it's a slideshow? And while Ed's working on that, so sorry everybody to have missed you earlier this morning. I was having computer issues. My name is Jamie Reddy, and I am the Community Engagement and Outreach Manager for the Division of Developmental Disabilities. And I am just thrilled and honored to be sharing some time with you this morning. All of you who are on the line as a caregiver, such as myself, I'm a caregiver to my dad and to my kids, thank you so much. You are appreciated and you are seen. Thank you. DDB's mission is to empower Arizonans with developmental or even intellectual disabilities to lead self-directed, healthy, and meaningful lives. I am coming to you today from a specific department within the Division of Developmental Disabilities. That is the Office of Individual and Family Affairs. At the OIFA office, we offer so many different supports and services that will benefit, honestly, not only the people who are enrolled with the division, but caregivers as well.
Que están en esas situaciones, sino también a las personas que brindan el cuidado. Por ejemplo, usted puede obtener información, usted puede hacer las preguntas a través también de nuestra...
You can have direct contact with somebody like myself who specializes in working with the tribal communities and ask questions and get information. DDD's eligibility is pretty straightforward and simple. You got to be a resident. You've got to be here lawfully. And the two big ones, you have to have a qualifying diagnosis and proof of a substantial functional limitation. The qualifying diagnoses include one of the four you see here, and they have to have manifested before the age of 18. So, autism spectrum disorder, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and intellectual or cognitive disability. Those are the diagnoses we work with. What you're not seeing are ADHD or attention deficit or learning disability. The exception for this is when there's somebody looking for services and they're under the age of 6, but they don't have a diagnosis yet. They're considered to be at risk for epilepsy or maybe at risk for autism spectrum. We can still work with them as well. The functional limitations part of the division states that, states that that 3 of the bullet pointed items listed here are showing substantial functional limitations. So in order to qualify, you need to be substantially functionally limited in 3 or more of these areas showing on the screen. If the person you're caring for has a diagnosis and is showing limitations, consider looking and talking to the Division of Developmental Disabilities. In order to apply for the division, you get an application packet. There is paperwork to fill out. There are documents you need to gather up. And if you have questions or the person you're caring for has questions in the application process, he or she can email dddapply@azdes.gov or even call our customer service center at 844-770-9500, option 1. The application packet will include a need for information from caregivers. The application packet requires that documentation and such things are given to show that the person has substantial functional limitations. So that might come in the form of notes from caregivers. So consider your role there as a caregiver. Newly eligible DDD members are always screen for possible referral over to Arizona's long-term care system, or Alltex. Alltex and DDD are very separate, okay? Two separate agencies, different systems, but DDD will always screen and make that referral over to Alltex if we believe somebody might qualify. What you get as a DDD member, no matter what kind of eligibility you meet, is a support coordinator. A support coordinator is your right-hand person. They're your go-to when you've got questions, your first phone call, if you will. They are meant to meet with you and the families. They'll ask questions possibly from caregivers about what they're seeing, experiencing. Your support coordinator is there to identify services and supports, and then to develop the individualized support plan. And what I'd like to specifically make a mention of is how the Division of Developmental Disabilities can work with members who are assessed and show a need for three very important areas that many of you joining us today, whom we're celebrating, might be working as one of these types of caregivers. Respite caregivers, those are the trained people who will supervise and care for an individual for the purpose of giving the regularly scheduled caregiver, if you will, a break. The habilitation provider is someone who provides training and uses methods to help increase an individual's abilities to be independent. So a habilitation worker is somebody who's considered to mostly be a teacher of sorts. And many of our enrolled members, people enrolled with the division, do receive habilitation. Finally, a person who is trained to be a direct caregiver or a direct care worker, mainly focusing on safe and healthy living conditions and outcomes. Someone who helps somebody else maintain personal cleanliness is an attendant caregiver, someone who's providing attendant care. So those are three major caregivers that the division works with often. Our customer service center is there for you all. It's to assist our members, potential members, professionals, and more with a variety of topics, okay? So if you remember nothing else from me today, know, caregivers and others, that we have our toll-free number that you can call anytime. 844-770-9500, option 1, or email at dddcustomerservicecenter@azdes.gov. So Ed and I both would like to mention that when it comes to state agencies such as AZIP, Arizona's Early Intervention, and the Division of Developmental Disabilities, we need you to know that you can find a library of all sorts of different documents, including flyers and pamphlets, by going to our website. You can click on the DES Document Center, choose the Flyers and Pamphlets tab, and in the drop-down menu called Filter by Category, you can choose the program that you're looking for. So in this screenshot, you're seeing where the person typed in Arizona Early Intervention Program. Here, you can find a complete list of materials, you all. Please take a look, see what's out there and available. Very, very resourceful here. There are also a good number of other resources we want to direct you to. If you could take a note, if you're able, as to where these resources are located. The first, actually all three of them are located on our website. There's community resources, information about infants, and information about supports and services for individuals and families. Again, my name is Jamie Reddy. You can reach me by the phone number shown here, or you can email me anytime. I'm happy to assist. Ed, would you like to say goodbye as well, and then we'll open it for questions?
Yes, thank you, everyone. Once again, my name is Ed Schomer, and I am with the Arizona Early Intervention Program. Please reach out to either one of us. We are here to assist you all. And once again, thank you so much for all of you caregivers out there, regardless of family or paid. You are priceless. Seriously, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie and Ed. That was a great presentation regarding the DDD. We know that there are many different questions that have come up continuously when it comes to family caregivers and eligibility for the program. So thank you very much for providing that information to us today. Does anyone have any questions? You may feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question, or you may put it in the chat. It looks like someone is requesting for Jamie's phone number. I don't know if we can put that last page back up, or if you can just type it into the chat.
Well, sure, I'd be happy to type it into the chat, but in addition, I'll say it verbally again. My cell phone number is 480-285-9572, and I'm typing it in the chat right now.
It's also being asked if you can please share the links with the website for the websites.
Absolutely, we can. Why don't I put those in the chat as well? Hopefully that will work.
Thank you very much for that, Jamie. While you're working on that, I do just want to say the Division of Aging and Adult Services and the Division of Developmental Disabilities are working closely together on a few different projects. And we do send referrals to each other pretty frequently. So if a member of the public has questions regarding DDD or any kind of eligibility, questions, or even application, or how to access different programs, and even if there's an update on their case files, or if there's something happening with a case file, we'll communicate directly with each other. I'm very happy that DDD is, they always have that open door policy with DOS as well. So we very much appreciate that and all the work you do. Are there any other questions?
And just a side note, I will put those links in the chat. Just give me a few minutes on there.
Okay, so while Jamie is getting that information available for you, I have put up a copy of today's agenda on the screen, and we're getting ready to start our first breakout session. So in just a few moments, I'm going to go ahead and open up all the breakout rooms. And as you see on your screen, we have breakout room 1, which is region 1 for the Area Agency on Aging, which is primarily Maricopa County. We have breakout room 2, which is going to be hosted by the Pima Council on Aging, which is primarily for folks in Pima County. Room 3 is going to be for Northern Arizona Council of Governments, and that is going to be all of our northern counties. And room 4 is going to be for the Western Arizona Council of Governments, and that will be for our western counties. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up all of the rooms, and feel free to choose which room you would like to go into to see their brief presentation. To choose a room, down at the bottom, there should be a breakout room menu available to you. And you can select which room you would like to go into. Again, region 1 is primarily for our participants in Maricopa County. Click on breakout rooms and choose region 1, breakout room 1. If you are in Pima County, participating from Pima County, go into the breakout room menu at the bottom of your screen and choose room 2, Pima County.
Hi, Barbie. This is Kinsey, one of the presenters. The attendees do not have a breakout room button at the bottom.
Okay, let me see if I can get this to work again. Hold on one moment.
You can go to more, see the more button.
Yes, in the more button at the bottom right of the menu in your Zoom screen, there is the option for breakout rooms.
Barbie, this is Jamie. I might be seeing what they're seeing, and I don't have a more button.
I am trying to figure this out. I apologize sincerely. We will get this sorted out momentarily. Okay.
Hi, Barbie. This is Lita. I'm not sure what happened, but I was placed in a breakout room and didn't hear anything. And then I was placed back in here, it looks like.
Okay, give me one moment. We're working on trying to figure out why they won't start out.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, was anyone given the breakout room button at the bottom of your screen?
No.
Lita, I sincerely apologize, but we are having an issue with the breakout rooms and I cannot get them to work. would we like to go ahead and do quick presentations here in the main room?
Barbie, I don't mind doing that. I think there's a few of the presenters that are in their rooms at the moment. Could we broadcast the message to have them come back to the main room? Okay, do we have Scott on the line in the main room? We can possibly just get him queued up. Scott Hawthornthwaite, are you here?
I sincerely apologize to all of our participants for these technical issues. When we did our practice run, this worked like a charm for us.
Okay, I did not hear from Scott. Deb Waring, if you're available, let's go ahead and get started with your presentation.
Okay, so we're not doing the breakouts at this point, it sounds like.
That's correct.
Okay. Let me get this up and running here.
I would like to also mention, as you're presenting, if you could please have your camera up. We are also experiencing some technical difficulties with our closed captioning. And those participants would very much like to be able to read lips.
Okay.
Thank you.
Reminder, I appreciate it. So my name is Debbie Waring and I coordinate family caregiver support for Pima Council on Aging. And I know that time is behind, so I'm gonna, well, screen isn't advancing.
Debbie, you should be able to just push the page down button on your keyboard. There you go.
Okay, so Pima Council on Aging, our mission is to promote dignity and respect for aging and to advocate for independence in the lives of Pima County's older adults and their families. We are a 501c3. Many area agencies on aging across the country are government entities, but ours is a nonprofit. And we've been in business since 1967. We are one of over 600 on a national network of area agencies on aging. And why that's important for all of you is that if you move to another state, or if you happen to be a snowbird, for example, and live in 2 states at once, we can connect you with resources in another state as well. So family caregiver support is all about identifying informal and non-paid caregivers in the community that we can serve. That would mean family members, it could mean partners, neighbors, friends, faith group members, and club members. It's anyone that's informal and non-paid. And one of the reasons why this is important is that caregivers often don't self-identify. Those of you that are here are probably here because you know what caregivers are about. But one of the things that I would invite you to do is to help your neighbors and your friends and those that you deal with in other social networks also identify as being a caregiver so that they can reach out for support as well. On the right side of the page is is the federal guideline.
I think we may have just lost Debbie. I apologize. Brandon, are you available to start your presentation?
Yes, I am. Sorry, somehow I just got thrown back into a breakout room.
Okay, I apologize for that.
Shall I share my screen once again?
Absolutely, Debbie.
Okay. Sharing screen now. Okay. Where I left off is on the right side of the page are the federal guidelines for qualifying for family caregiver support. So anyone that's 18 or older who's caring for individuals generally 60 years of age or older, someone who's caring for individuals with any type of Alzheimer's or related dementia. And one of the things that's important here for those of you who are in the IDD community, it's not uncommon for folks with Down syndrome, for example, to start showing signs of memory issues by the age of 40. So when they start forgetting things or their routine changes, keep an eye out in case there are memory issues that are starting to show up. Not everyone is aware of that. And then older non-parent relatives, age 55 and older, who care for children age 18 years of age and under. And as was mentioned earlier in the program, there's over 662,000 grandparents and other relatives that are raising kids at this point in Arizona. And then the last group is older relatives, including parents age 55 and older, providing care to adults ages 18 through 59 with developmental disabilities. So the 5 core services that family caregiver support programs usually offer are: number 1, one-on-one caregiver consultation. Besides giving information and giving referrals to other agencies and community resources, Pima Council on Aging also does what we call options planning. Options planning is all about, we look at what your current situation is and take care of that, such as my dad got lost on the way to Costco the other day and we're starting to have concerns about his driving. So we would work with you on the driving issue, but then if he's starting to have cognitive difficulties, we would take a look at, do you want to talk about the types of things that you may be facing in the future? What are the pitfalls and what are the things that we need to consider for you so that you don't get into crisis later down the road and not know how to deal with it or what to do with it? So it's both short-term and then long-term, helping you plan what your options are going to be for care. The second thing we do is caregiver training. There's 3 main trainings that we do. One is caregiving essentials. That's our basic caregiving 101. We give information, resources, and a lot of guidance on what are the types of things that you're starting to deal with in your caregiving. That's in the morning session. In the afternoon session, we teach you about physical care. So how to be safe, how to not hurt your back. What do you have an emergency plan and a to-go bag? And what kind of equipment might you use? So that's in the afternoon. The second training that we deal with, it's kind of a training support group combination. It's called Finding Meaning and Hope. It was developed by Duet there in Phoenix. And it's a video discussion series that talks about how to deal with memory loss and with what we call ambiguous loss. That is, when you're a caregiver, oftentimes you have ongoing losses that occur. And so this video discussion series helps you deal with things like how to develop a psychological family and support system for the journey, as one example. The third caregiver training that we deal with is called Powerful Tools for Caregivers. It is all about self-care, and it's a six program series to teach caregivers how to care for themselves, because in our society, we're not really taught how to do that. It's one of the best trainings I've ever taught, and it is, it is evidence-based and in 42 states. So those are the three trainings. The next thing we do is support groups. And we have 9 monthly support groups, both in person and online, here in Pima County. It's very important whenever you're caregiving that you have a way to let out to someone else that you trust about what's going on with your caregiving. The research shows that whenever you hold it inside, it's not good for your health, and it's not good for the person you're caring for. When you care for caregivers, you're likely to run into others in the groups that are going through very similar situations that you are. We find that caregivers learn from one another, and they learn from our program coordinator, our support group coordinator as well. We also have some online education programs that we share sometimes in those sessions. The fourth thing that we offer in our program is respite care. There is respite in the home and out of home. And in the home, we have two ways to do that. One is through home care agencies that will help do personal care, give a little food, maybe lunch, fix a little lunch, do a little housekeeping for the care recipient and their areas. And then we also have a program called Finding Meaning and Friends and Neighbors Respite, where you can hire your own person to come in, and it's a reimbursement program. That's also something that can be used out of home. We also have adult day respite options for caregivers to get a break from caregiving. Research also supports that whenever you take a break from caregiving, you do better at caregiving for another person. So it's very important that you take time for yourself. Even medical folks, such as doctors and nurses, go home at the end of the day. And oftentimes you're caregiving 24/7, so you've got to take breaks. And then the other area that we support is grandparents and other relatives raising grandchildren. We have a relationship with Care Family Center, and they offer that service for us, and we help to finance that. Additional caregiver supports, we have a senior companion program where we have volunteers who will provide companionship, transportation, and some daytime assistance to isolated older adults. And then we too are celebrating you as caregivers, and we're offering National Caregiver Support Month in November. We're going to have a movie day and show the video Alive Inside, which talks about how important music is to bring people alive whenever they may not seem like they're connected with the day-to-day world and what's going on. We also are going to give a keynote talk on social connections and how it is one of the strongest buffers to caregiver burnout. And then the third thing we're offering is a drive-through in 3 locations for goodie bags. It'll have arts and crafts, chocolate, t-shirts, resources. And since we can't have you inside to serve you lunch, we're going to give restaurant gift cards for you and the care recipient so you can have lunch on us. My primary message to all of you that are attending is to be gentle with yourself. You're doing the best you can. We often offer to do deep breathing, and as you breathe in, say, I'm doing the best I can. And as you breathe out, say, and I let go of the rest. Know that you're not alone and that we're here to walk the caregiver journey with you. These are some of the resources that we have at the agency, our helpline. Folks, we take up to 200 calls a day sometimes. So if you leave a message or if you don't get through to someone on the other end, leave a message and be sure and call back. Don't hesitate to call back. We have a website, pcoa.org, and we have resource directory and guide to services. And then we also have a newsletter called Never Too Late. For those of you who are providers, we have an online referral service, and you can put your referral online. So those are some of the resources that we offer, and we encourage you to reach out to us. We're here for you. We don't want you to be alone in the journey. Thank you for your time. I know we're running behind, so I will say thank you. Here's my information. And again, this PowerPoint will be on the website, they said, at the state. So you're welcome to reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. That was really great information for Pima County. Scott Hawthornthwaite, are you queued up to present next? I see you. Scott, are you able to share your screen?
I am not.
Okay, stand by. I'll go ahead and bring it up. Okay, Scott, go ahead and let me know when to advance the screen. Are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your patience, everybody, and good morning. My name is Scott Hawthornthwaite with the Area Agency on Aging Region 1. We are a 501c private nonprofit agency, but we do administer federal and state funding. We've been around for over 46 years, and last year we served over 120,000 Maricopa County residents. You can see that we are accredited from the Council on Accreditation. All of our information and assistance specialists are AIR certified. We are also licensed by the Department of Health Services, certified to bill Medicare, and we also work with several access providers locally. Next screen, please. Thank you. As Deb had said, we are one of a network of over 600 area agencies on aging nationally.
Excuse me. Hello.
So
Scott?
if you're concerned about somebody in another county where we are one of 8 area agencies, or nationally, you can get in touch with us and we can help put you in touch with the intake specialists for that area where your loved one lives.
Scott?
Thank you. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you slow down just a little bit? I know that we're trying to rush through since our breakout rooms aren't working appropriately, and I apologize to everyone for that, but our
Sure.
Spanish interpreters having a little difficulty keeping up.
Well, I'll slow it down just a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbie. Again, everyone in the United States is covered under an area agency on aging. If you need any information about another area in Arizona or in the United States, you can get in touch with us. I'll be giving the contact information at the end, and we can help you get in touch with an area agency there. Thank you. Lita? Of course, the Area Agency on Aging serves older adults, but we also serve a wide variety of clients and situations in the county. We, of course, do serve older adults. We have a program that serves elder refugees, and we have a senior center just for elder refugees. We have an AmeriCorps program where all of the AmeriCorps members are 55 and over, and they do projects to support the agency. We also have a program that deals with victims of late life domestic violence and elder abuse. A lot of people don't think that that type of issue affects older adults, but it certainly does affect the entire lifespan. We serve people with disabilities and long-term care needs over 18. Our Ombudsman program protects clients and residents' rights in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. And then also our Family Caregiver program and grandparents raising grandchildren. I'm going to talk just a little more about the Family Caregiver program. Lita? Oh, one back. Thank you. When people contact the agency, they contact us mostly through our 24-hour senior helpline number, and I will give that number on the last slide. Referrals come in to our senior helpline and are assigned to a care coordinator. That's a social worker who will do the assessment and then will be the ongoing case manager if you are open to services. Like Deb had said, many people are calling in for respite care, and respite's just a short break, an interval of rest to take good care of yourself to continue doing all that you do as a caregiver. We do that 3 different ways. One is through a contracted agency. We have several licensed home care agencies that we work with. Many we've had year-long and even decade-long relationships with. So they understand us, we understand them, and they do good service for family caregivers. Like Deb had said, in Pima County, we also have the Friends and Neighbors program. That's where a family caregiver can hire a friend or a neighbor to provide respite care. The caregiver pays the person, submits the timesheets, and we reimburse the family caregiver. Again, it's the 8 hours a week. If you are not familiar with adult day healthcare centers here in Maricopa County, I urge you to become familiar. We contract with 12 of them countywide. And adult day healthcare is like a senior center, but for people who need more assistance with daily tasks. And we are able to authorize 2 days a week. So the family caregiver can relax and rest and know that their loved one is in a secure setting with daily meals and a nurse. It's a really good setting, and we have them all listed on our website, which I'll give you at the end. But even if you don't think you need one now, please find out about adult day healthcare. Sometimes it's called the best kept secret in long-term care. Like the other area agencies, we offer caregiver support groups and forums. Caregivers who self-identify as a caregiver and also those who go to support groups report less depression and have a way to share their issues. When people are having a crisis sometimes, or even just stressed, they sometimes feel that nobody else has felt that way. And the power of groups is that many people have felt that way, and you can learn a lot from hearing your story from someone else. Our kinship care program, Grandparents Raising Grandchildren, is through a provider called Duet, Project GrandCare. Please, you can get in touch with our 24-hour senior helpline, and we'll put you in touch with kinship care providers. Lita? Thank you. I wanted to kind of end on this one slide. It's from Rosalind Carter, former First Lady, and I think it sums it up. There are only 4 kinds of people in the world: those who have been caregivers, those who are caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need caregivers. And I think it shows that almost everybody is or will be affected by caregiving. The next slide and last slide is a contact information. Again, my name is Scott. And again, there is a time in every life for our help. You will see our 24-hour senior helpline number. It is staffed 24 hours a day by social workers, also available in English and Spanish. The 24-hour senior helpline number is 602-264-4357, 264-HELP. Please check out our website at aaphx.org, where you'll see the family caregiver section with upcoming events. We are joining True Alta training. We have a powerful tools for caregivers class coming up and several other events. I hope that this was helpful. And again, thank you for all you do as a family caregiver.
Thank you so much, Scott. And I would like to ask each presenter, since we're kind of going through these quickly, if you could please put your information in the chat for everyone, that would be great. Lita, who do we have next?
Hello, we'll have Brandon Baxter from NACOG.
Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Brandon Baxter. I'm the Aging and Adult Programs Manager for the Area Agency on Aging, NACOG, representing the Northern Arizona Council of Governments. Counties represented by NACOG are Yavapai, Coconino, Navajo, and Apache counties. So as the programs manager, one of the programs that I oversee is the Family Caregiver Supports Program, the Medicare Benefits Counseling Program, the Ombudsman Program, the Health and Wellness Program, Volunteer Management and Outreach, as well as Technological Solutions for Care. The program we're going to be focusing on today is the Family Caregiver Program. Our updates, just to let you know, regionally, we do have a new family caregiver coordinator, Kim Tate, who will be onboarding in the next couple of weeks. So we will have that position filled, and we're very excited. Kim has a 20-year background in aging and adult services, most recently in long-term care environment. We do authorize respite care as well, in-home respite and socialization respite care for adult day health centers. And we see value in both. Having the socialization aspect of the adult day health centers available is very, very important for individuals who may be socially isolating. Oftentimes, we will see our loved ones as family caregivers, they'll begin to pull in and their world will get smaller and smaller and smaller. They'll start hanging out less and less with their friends. And the research is pretty significant on this, that as we become more and more socially isolated, our health declines physically, emotionally, mentally. We see the impacts of social isolation. So I would encourage you all, if you haven't had an opportunity yet to utilize an adult day health center, give your local adult day health center some consideration when utilizing respite care for your loved one. We have virtual caregiver support groups. Due to the COVID-19 restrictions we have up here in Northern Arizona, we've gone to online or virtual caregiver support groups. We have them on alternating Tuesdays and Fridays. The Friday one's at 10 a.m. and the Tuesday one is at 4 p.m. So whether you're available in the morning or the afternoon, earlier in the week or later in the week, we try to give options available to you to be able to touch base with other family caregivers. One major point that we found in the field of family caregiving is we have been able to offer one-on-one guidance counseling before, but family caregivers tend to respond better and are more engaged with what we call peer counseling or support groups, where other family caregivers or past family caregivers are able to share their knowledge and their wisdom from the care that they've been providing or for the care that they previously provided. And they're able to utilize those life lessons learned in that caregiving journey to share with others who may be going through similar situations. If you have not yet had an opportunity to participate in a family caregiver support group, one of these virtual or telephonic caregiver support groups may be a fantastic way to introduce yourself to the National Family Caregiver Support Program. We do outreach and community engagement presentations and educational symposiums. Sometimes you just have a couple hours in a day that you might be able to tune in and learn some more things, because as many of us have found out, when we get promoted to the role of unpaid family caregiver, oftentimes be post-hospital discharge, we're given a huge packet of information on what it is we're going to need to do to care for our loved one. And maybe, if we're lucky, even a quick 2 or 3 minute demonstration on how to do that 15-page packet of care needs that now our loved one has. And so oftentimes we as family caregivers go home feeling overwhelmed and stressed out because we've never had to perform these tasks or responsibilities before, let alone on our loved ones. So we'll teach how to provide these care needs to your loved ones in a shorter format, maybe something that isn't 5 to 6 weeks in length. We do have some respite staffing shortages in some of our areas due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we have been utilizing more and more of our partner provider agencies to help meet those existing needs. And they have done a wonderful job of meeting the needs as they have arisen. Some caregivers are declining services due to the impacts and limiting exposure to their loved ones. And caregiver support group attendance is limited in some of our area due to internet access not being available to all. However, we do see hope in the horizon, and we are hopeful to be able to return to some in-person programming here in the near future. Our evidence-based caregiver trainings, such as powerful tools for caregivers, we're actually beginning to schedule right now for upcoming evidence-based training sessions. And this is another program that some of the other regions has offered. If you're wondering, wow, there seems to be some duplication of services, you're right, because this is all based off of the National Family Caregiver Support Program reauthorization of the Older Americans Act from the year 2000, which gave us the framework for the 5 core services that we offer throughout the nation. Do we have unique programming within those 5 key core areas? We absolutely do. So if you're wondering if we have a specific service available within this area, or let's say you have a loved one in another area, out of state or out of the county, you can reach out to your local area agency on aging as well in that area to find out what programming is available for you and or your loved ones. One of the things that we've been able to do with the COVID-19 pandemic is utilize some new technology. And one of those are our virtual pets, our Joy for All pilot pet program. We say no vet bills, just love. Bring your lint roller though. They do shed just like your real dog and your real cat. So you will feel like you still have a real pet. Now, the nice part about this is oftentimes as our loved ones age, we may have a loss of a pet and not be in a position to where we could really pragmatically replace that pet due to care needs that exist for the pet and or the loved one. So this may be something that could fill that void, especially if there's issues of grief involved in association with the loss of that pet. This has a mute button, which your previous animal did not. And it also has an on-off switch, which is really nice to eliminate those 2 a.m. wake-up calls that may have occurred previously with your non-animatronic loved one. The great thing about the Joy for All Pets is it's a wonderful toy, but it's not really a toy. It's a tool. It's something that really can help bring down anxiety levels, even if your loved one is cognitively aware that this is not a real animal. It still has been shown to bring down anxiety levels, to bring down stress levels, and to bring down instances of behaviors as well. So for instance, if you have a loved one maybe that is suffering from some sundowners, this may be a tool that you might want to consider bringing into the home to see if you and or your loved one may find some relief from some of the behaviors or grief that has been associated with the loss. It's demonstrated to improve lives. We're currently utilizing this program for burnout risk for family caregivers. Our health and wellness program is also cross-referring this to individuals who are in our social isolation project and in our Critter Tales Grief Share group for those that have lost a pet. And our long-term care ombudsman team is sharing referrals to our team as well for anyone who's at risk for discharge due to behaviors or grief due to not being able to take their pet with them once they moved into a facilitated care environment. So we find that this tool is a very good tool that crosses all programs and can be funneled back in as a referral source to the family caregivers. If you have any other specific questions about the programs and services that are available to you in your specific area, please reach out to your local area agency on aging. I do represent Northern Arizona Council of Governments, the northern part of the state. So here is our contact information, 877-521-3500, or you can shoot me a quick email at bbaxter@nacog.org. And if you or a family member is curious about available services in your region or in the area of your loved one, I will help you take a look to see what the contact information is for that local area agency on aging, because we know for a fact that long distance caregiving is on the rise, and that oftentimes family caregivers may not reside in the county of residence of the care recipient. So if you have any other further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Once again, my name is Brandon Baxter, and I'm with NACOG's Area Agency on Aging. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate that information. I will, just a quick programming update. We are going to forego the 10-minute break that we initially had planned. We want to move through each presentation as they, are very relevant to different areas. Next up, we'll go ahead and play the video from Kat Troba from WACOG, or Western Area Agency on Aging. So hold on just a moment while I bring that up. Am I on the right screen?
You are. We see the video.
My name is Kat Troba. I'm a caregiver coordinator, and I work for Western Arizona Council of Governments. We call it WACOG for short. I'm here today to give you information about our caregiver program, but before I do, I'd like to tell you a little bit about WACOG. We were established in 1971 and are celebrating our 50th anniversary. That's such a big milestone for our organization. Wow. We are a community action agency that provides many great services from early childhood to older years of life. Our mission is to educate, stimulate, promote, and develop human, natural, social, and economic resources to their fullest potential in the western region of Arizona for our communities in Yuma, La Paz, and Mojave counties. And WACOG has a wonderful staff to accomplish this mission. Now, this past year and a half has really been a challenge for all of us at WACOG to figure out new ways to provide these services through the pandemic. And I'm really proud of the great things we've done. Let me tell you about some of our services. Our Head Start program provides the development of self-sufficient, healthy, caring, and productive children and families. Our dedicated staff with the Human Services programs has found a way to assist those individuals online who are having a hard time paying their utility bills or rent due to losing their jobs during the pandemic. We have some really bad roads out there, and we have a 4-year local transportation improvement program that allocates federal funds for local street and road projects in the counties we serve. I'm so glad we have this program. A program called A Hand Up has been really busy helping individuals who are at risk of losing their homes because of job losses or other pandemic-related issues. They explain the foreclosure process and provide options for mortgage assistance and other solutions for people to retain their homes. Our weatherization program provides assistance with replacing inefficient appliances and putting in energy-saving appliances, which includes replacing AC and heating units. And last but not least, our Area Agency on Aging, or better known as the AAA. This is a division I work under with the Caregiver program. Our goal is to keep those that are low income, 60 plus years of age, and individuals living with a disability in their homes and independent as long as possible. Through the efforts of our hardworking staff during COVID, we figured out how to get these services out to our communities. Even though we've had to work strictly from our offices, we have done a great job at getting the services to those that really need it. Let's start with our central intake unit. This is where access to all of our services begin within the AAA. The staff who work in the central intake receive referrals and calls for individuals needing services. They also serve as our information and referral unit, where individuals can call for resources on services offered by other agencies. We offer Medicare counseling to assist with any Medicare issues. We have some very knowledgeable counselors who have been helping people understand their options for over 10 years. We have a case management unit. Any in-home care or delivered meal client has to be case managed. It's been extremely hard for our case managers this year, having to accomplish this without in-person visits to the clients. But they have done an outstanding job of onboarding and keeping in touch with the clients. Of course, we continue to do our ombudsman program that goes out and advocates for those residents living in a skilled nursing or assisted living facility. COVID has been especially difficult when it comes to our wellness programs. Staff had to take online training courses for all the classes we offer, like chronic disease self-management, mental health first aid, matter of balance, wellness initiative for senior education, and Tai Chi. But doggone it, we did it, and we'll be scheduling classes soon. We have a cute new program called Joy for All Companion Pets for those clients who are on in-home care services with WCOG. These adorable, lifelike, robotic cats and dogs can be brushed and make movements and sounds just like a regular cat or dog. These have such a positive impact on those who are isolated, lonely, or are experiencing cognitive decline. They are designed to comfort, provide companionship, and are fun for our elder loved ones. WCOG recently purchased a membership to a great new informative caregiver program called True Alta. This website has videos and literature on a vast amount of subjects like caregiving tips, nutrition, health tips, dementia-related issues, and it has information on current events that WCOG is offering. We are still in the developing stages, but it will be available very soon. So keep checking that WCOG website for information. Also, this summer, we launched our new WCOG Caregiver Help Virtual Support Group program that meets bi-weekly on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. There are 6 caregiver zones throughout the 3 counties WCOG serves. Each zone has been upgraded with a computer, literature, and books that caregivers can utilize. And they are also sites that caregivers can use to join our new support group. This helps those caregivers who do not have the technology at home or who have a difficult time using technology. Our partner in this new program is Elaine Sanchez, and she's wonderful. She's from caregiverhelp.com. One of the things that makes this program unique is Elaine's videos. She provides caregivers with practical, applicable strategies for dealing with their anger, their fear, frustration, fatigue, their guilt, the depression, the grief, and dementia-related challenging behaviors. We all understand these are difficult issues for caregivers, so Elaine incorporates a lot of real-life caregiver stories and humor into each session, such as this video I'm going to share with you about caregiver fatigue.
I've got it all figured out. I'm going to rob a bank. I'm going to get my husband in the car, and we're going to drive to the bank, and we're going to park in front. And then I'm going to get him out, and I'm going to put him behind the wheel so that he'll look like the getaway driver. He'll be my accomplice. Then I'm going to walk in with an unloaded gun, and I'm going to point it at the teller, and I'm going to say, "This is a stick-up." And if she gives me any money, then I'm going to take it out to the car, and I'm going to sit in the passenger seat and wait for the police to come. Here's the beautiful thing about that. They'll arrest both of us, and they'll take him to the men's prison. Then they'll have to feed him. They'll have to do his laundry. They'll have to manage his medications. They'll have to deal with his depends, and then they'll take me to the women's prison. I will be in a cell all by myself. I'll be able to check books out of the library. I can read during the day, and I'll be able to sleep at night, and it won't cost us a dime.
So if you think going to prison sounds like a good alternative to caregiving, please join our support group program. And if you live in Yuma, La Paz, or Mojave counties and need assistance with any of the WACOG programs, please contact our 1-800-782-1886 telephone line. You probably know this past year and a half has been difficult, but hardworking staff at WACOG has risen to the challenge and has developed new ways of doing business and offering the services we have promised to our communities that we serve. The staff will continue to work hard and diligently to get the service to those who need it, and we will continue to grow and develop programs so that we can keep the vision of our mission statement moving forward. I appreciate all of you for taking the time to let me talk to you about WACOG Caregiver Services today, and I'm so proud to be a part of this program. God bless and take care.
That was awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move right on to the Arizona Caregiver Coalition. Yuta, are you ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Thank
Good morning.
you.
My name is Yuta. I'm with the Arizona Caregiver Coalition. I'll try to put this on slideshow. Okay. We are a statewide coalition. We have some programs a little bit similar to the area agencies on aging, but very much smaller. And we also try to do a lot of outreach and education for caregivers. And one of the things we want you to know is that if you're a caregiver, you're not alone. Arizona has roughly 800,000 caregivers, and I know it depends a little bit on how you count, but let's have a look at that, okay? Do you recognize yourself here? Do you do shopping for someone? Do you help with dressing? Maybe it's cooking. Some caregivers start by paying the bills and help balancing the checkbook, right? There are many paths to caregiving, and often then you add on additional help, helping with medications, giving some rides to the doctor, and that may turn into help with cleaning the house, bathing, and so forth. Okay, so there are many different caregivers, and so we want you to recognize that you are one of those caregivers, even if you do only one of those activities. We all know there are many rewards of caregiving, right? We want to be helpful. We love the person we care for, right? Sometimes we do it out of a sense of duty, or maybe we're the only one who's available. But we do want to support that person. Very often the relationship gets stronger with that person. You learn so much more about each other. And sometimes it's possible to involve the entire family, and that's a very rich experience. But as you've been hearing from some of the other presenters already, caregivers are at risk for illness. Caregiving can be stressful, okay? And it may be emotionally and physically stressful. You may also find you don't have enough time to go out or meet with your friends, okay? So you want to make sure you look at all these factors. So here are some short tips of what can you do? Because you want to be the caregiver, but you also want to take care of yourself. First thing you want to do is make sure you identify as a caregiver, right? That you know, I'm a caregiver, and that you can tell others that. You also want to get information and resources, and you're doing that here today, okay? So that you're off to a good start. You've already heard respite. You want to take a break. You want to get help, right? I'm going to say it now, I'll probably say it again. If someone offers you help, take it, right? Whether it's somebody going shopping for you or just coming over, or maybe they're just sharing a cup of coffee with you, okay? And the last tip is take time for yourself and no feeling guilty about it. You need a little time for yourself. So here's just a few pictures. We could have many more, right? Caregivers are of all ages. There are men and women. I always love this little piece of clip art. Okay, this is something we hear sometimes from caregivers. Oh, I'm fine. No, I'm doing okay. I don't need a break, right? Or very often we hear, well, I'm the only one who can do this. I'm the only one. he trusts, or she doesn't want anybody else around, okay? And that leads to feeling a little bit guilty when you do let somebody else take over, okay? So our message, our joint message from everybody you've been hearing today is, you do need a break, you deserve a break, and you should not feel guilty, okay? And you've heard about various classes, about learning stress reduction, some communication skills. You do want to get sleep and eat well, and don't forget to reward yourself occasionally, right? That maybe you're listening to some music. Maybe it's that piece of pastry. That's, I know how I reward myself a lot, okay? Do look for tools and resources. I want to tell you about one specific program where the Caregiver Coalition is a little bit unique in that we're the point of entry, so to say, to this program, and that's the Family Caregiver Reimbursement Program. There is money that was set aside by the state to reimburse you, the caregiver, for expenses for home modifications or assistive technology. You can get back up to 50%, up to $1,000. This can include things like, actually I have a slide on that coming up, forgive me, so I don't want to jump ahead. Couple of requirements: the caregiver and care receiver must be 18 or older. You must be, they must be requiring help with one or more activities of daily living, so bathing, eating, mobility, and so forth. And we will need a doctor's note from you to show that person does need help with one activity. Then there is an application. Yes, there's a bit of paperwork, but we're here to assist you with that. Okay? We do need the receipts. This is key. If you're considering a project, right, make sure you want to keep your receipts, and then we will also need a proof of income. Here is a partial list of things that qualify. A lot of caregivers upgrade the bathroom to where it's accessible, like a walk-in shower or a special bathtub or grab bars. Okay? In terms of assistive technology or buying equipment, it could be anything from hearing aids, you see oxygen tanks, bedside tables. The lift chairs are apparently a good tool. Okay, so there is a number of tools and devices that might qualify here. So please don't hesitate to ask us. We do have on our website a self-screening that takes about 2 or 3 minutes. So please go to our website, azcaregiver.org, and we'll put that into the chat. So you can do a very quick self-screening to answer some basic questions, and then we can get back in touch with you and discuss further if you might be eligible and how to apply. We also offer a few other supports for caregivers. Again, something that we're getting started on is what we call a caregiver toolkit, and we've been working on that with some of the area agencies on aging. And this is to help you put together all your important information and documents in case you ever need to go away or there is suddenly an emergency. Ask yourself, have you ever been there like, okay, it's Friday, and you suddenly say, oh boy, this Saturday I'm supposed to be somewhere else. Or possibly you get ill, or maybe you fall, and we don't want this to happen, but you might break a leg, and all of a sudden you say, well, who's going to take care of dad, mom, my husband, my wife, etc. You want to have information in place. And so we've been putting together this workbook and a checklist, and we'd love to help you put together some information to be prepared. Also, we have volunteer opportunities, and if you are a caregiver and you feel you want to give back to maybe some new caregivers or other caregivers who might need assistance, maybe they need somebody to talk to, or maybe they need help filling out this caregiver toolkit. right? Again, please contact us. We will love to have you on our team just a few hours a week, perhaps, to help us with some of those activities. We do have some respite assistance. You've already heard quite a bit from the area agencies. So you would use us if you possibly on a wait list or if you don't qualify for the area agencies on aging. The respite voucher, which is similar to what you heard the Friends and Neighbor program. We also serve, again, individuals not eligible, and specifically we have a gap group. If you care for someone with a developmental disability, but you don't get all text respite, then you may be able to apply for a respite voucher. Again, please contact us, right? Email works really well, info@azcaregiver.org. We have a toll-free number. And then again, on our website, you will find all this information, including our phone number and the self-screenings for the respite and for the family caregiver reimbursement program. Thank you, and I will stay around in case there are questions.
Hi, Yuta. There was one question, and I believe that Lita answered it in the chat, but I wanted to reinforce for everyone. The Arizona Caregiver Coalition, does that apply to the entire state?
Yes, we are statewide.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so now is the time we were supposed to go into additional breakout rooms. Did anyone else have any additional questions or comments for Lita or any of our other presenters? Okay, so we were supposed to go into our next set of breakout rooms, and unfortunately, they're not working for us appropriately. So I'm going to ask Ginger, are you ready to present?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, good morning, almost afternoon to everyone. My name is Ginger Fligger. I'm with Pinal Gila Council for Senior Citizens. Unlike our former speaker, I am just serving Pinal and Gila. It seems like a lot of the chat questions this morning have been about what areas geographically. And so I think the best advice that any of us can give is certainly just note of which county your area agency is serving. But we all, as you can tell, we all are very similar in some ways and unique in other ways. But we will be glad if you call any of us, I'm sure, to share that information. We correspond frequently with one another, so there's no wrong number to call. If you call any of us, we'll make sure you get to the correct area that can serve your geographical location. We serve both Pinal and Gila County. This is a picture of our building, but it's certainly not about the building. It's about the people we serve, and that's really what we want to talk about this morning. We are a nonprofit area agency on aging. We've been here in Pinal County. We're housed in Casa Grande for 47 years. Very much like Brandon talked about earlier, our funding comes a lot from the administration of the Older Americans Funding Act, and we contract with DOS. Lita spoke of her organization, and so that's why you'll see a lot of the similarities. A lot of our funding does come down from the same source. We advocate on behalf of our caregivers. We try to identify both the needs not only of the caregiver, but of their care recipient. We, one of the 5 core services is making sure that we give you information about available services and then help you gain access to those services that are available. We also, very much like all the other area agencies, we are doing support groups. We have now just started to do 1 or 2 of them back in person, and others we are still continuing to do through the Zoom platform virtually. I wanted to take a little bit of time not to talk so much about ourselves, but to remember why we're on the call today. We're honoring our caregivers. If I can take just a few moments to read a poem honoring you, your giving, your caring. You're stronger than you thought. Honoring you, your day, your sacrifice, your talents that cannot be taught. Recognizing you, your strengths, your passion. You have such a beautiful gift to share. Recognizing you, your feelings, your selflessness. You are so grateful. You are always there. Your sight, your might. We can finally let down our guard. Your gift, your heart. We know this is so hard. Thank you for sincere love and offering your strength to others. Thank you for caregiving to our brothers, our sisters, our fathers, and our mothers. I think that's really what we're trying to emphasize today. And I know Yuta just spoke about your daily jobs. Hats off to you, the many hats that you wear and the daily jobs that you do. I really enjoyed that video, as I'm sure you all did, that Kat shared with us about sometimes going to jail might look like a better option for the day. Let's hope you're not to that point, but we understand you're juggling, just as the gentleman here in our cartoon shows. You're the entertainer, you're the nurse. I know there's 3 square meals a day that you're getting for your care recipient, your loved one. You're the chef. You're the accountant that's paying the bills. You're the scheduler. Oh, and don't forget, you're that limousine driver every day, taking folks, taking your loved one to the doctor's appointments and to all their scheduled things that they need to get to. And then there you are, the Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash kind of entertainer for the day, trying to make sure that your loved one isn't just sitting in front of the boob tube all day. You take your entertainment serious. I know a lot of our caregivers, that's what it's all about. They'll give us calls and say, what can I do with mom? She's not able to do this anymore. She's not able to do that, but I don't want her just watching television all day. So we certainly understand that you're wearing many hats at your daily job in your caregiving. We also have caregiving training opportunities. And again, our 1-800-293-9393 number. We offer a lot of classes, just like the ones that were
varias clases como las que han hablado anteriormente.
Offered a class on making, this is just some of the examples of core classes that we teach. Making your home safe for loved ones with dementia, understanding dementia. We also partnered with Duet and teach the Finding Meaning and Hope. We've just ended that series of classes. We had someone from DPS talk about wondering in the Silver Alert system here for elders in Arizona. Very interesting presentation on wondering. Communication and behaviors, anxiety and depression, and self-care for caregivers. Again, we can't forget about the self-care part. That is so important. One of our quotes, these classes helped me feel so connected while we were all shut off from the world. That's what it's all about, that connection with other caregivers. I put this picture up. It was actually pre-COVID. I long for the day when we can get back. This was a conference that we had up in the Payson area. I just included this picture just to show that, again, we're out there in the community. We've missed being out there with you all, but we hope that we're all on the horizon, that we can get back to our larger conferences. We were doing one in the spring and in the fall, but currently we're just doing all those things virtually. But we know, and we've heard from our caregivers, that we're anxious to get back into meeting with you all face to face. We started a new program, and COVID did help us think outside of the box. We started a program called Arts and Meals. We bring this to our caregivers and to other seniors in the area that do not have senior centers in some of our more remote areas here in Pinal and Gila County. We've kind of refurbished a vehicle that we had. We call our Arts and Meals. We put everything in that vehicle that we need to bring a senior center to you. We bring meals to you, and we bring an art kit to you. We usually are out, it's an outdoor event. We provide art instruction and the meal, and it's really to help decrease that and combat social isolation. We really use this in place of our what we call our memory cafe. That is something else that we've offered for our caregivers pre-pandemic, So to replace that, we've gotten out with our memory cafe. In replace of meeting indoors, we've met outdoors with our mobile arts, and we've brought the social activities to different and various communities. If anyone is interested in what areas we'll be serving, you can check our calendar on our website that I'll be giving you some further information on. This is just one of our staff members again out. We have lots of the time we're out doing different community outreach and giving you information of the different services that are available. We also will be celebrating National Caregivers Month. I'm not sure how many of you are aware that are on the call. It's also Native American Month. So we decided to join in with the Casa Grande Ruins at their national monument on Wednesday, November 17th. We will be having a free lunch outdoors, again, keeping our outdoors activities at this time, and so blessed with this beautiful Arizona weather at this time. So we're planning an outdoor picnic with our caregivers and their loved ones. We will have a presentation by the park ranger there at the Casa Grande Ruins. We're also having a Native American cooking demonstration that we're looking forward to, and showing us how we can utilize some of the plants and the beans native to our Southwest desert. And so we're really looking forward to that food demonstration. And we all know that food always brings the crowd out, and people really enjoy it. It's part of our socialization as our culture. We also will be offering powerful tools for caregivers. We have about 15 people signed up for this class. We have our number there that you can call, or again, our 1-800. We do have a few seats left. We will be offering the Powerful Tools for Caregivers workshop. This one will be offered virtually. For the first time, we will be giving out iPads with connectivity to Wi-Fi for those caregivers that wanted to participate but did not have the connectivity. So we are very fortunate at this point in time that we are giving out iPads, and we'll have those joining us for the first time that we're unable to join our virtual classes before. This is my contact information. I'll put it in the chat area so that you'll have that, but please feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. Thank you for all you do, and for those that you care for. You're an invaluable, and we hope that today that you do feel appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ginger. Does anyone have any questions for Ginger? Okay, Karen, you are next on the list.
I will be sharing my screen. So hello from Region 6, SEGO, Southeastern Arizona Government's Organization, Agency on Aging. I'm the Family Caregiver Support Program Care Coordinator, Karen Enriquez, and my contact information will be spread out throughout this video. Okay, I loved the poem that Ginger shared. Being a caregiver is the definition of a selfless act. More than 52 million caregivers are taking care of family members or loved ones, and data shows that they truly do support our aging service network. The challenge of a family caregiver is often unheard and unseen, and decisions about caring for an aging loved one happens almost every single day. Most of those decisions are based on individual beliefs, dignity, and finance. Pandemic or not, the heavy burden of caregiving can gradually overwhelm even the most devoted and the best prepared individuals. Your area agencies on aging are here to build support structures for our family caregivers, and let's give those caregivers a hand. The SEGO Area Agency on Aging advocates, moves forward, identifies gaps, find or create solutions. We are similar to all the other regions. We have our demographics, our older adults, 60 and older, individuals with disabilities and long-term care needs, family caregivers, residents of nursing homes and assisted living facilities, and of course, our Medicare beneficiaries. Because our focus today is on caregiver appreciation, I just wanted to point out that we do have many services available through the AAA. We have all of the programs that you could use, and we continuously work to bring resources and services to our elders to maintain maximum independence and, of course, dignity. So what is a family caregiver? An adult family member or an individual who is an informed provider of in-home and community care to an older individual or any individual with Alzheimer's disease or related neurological disorder. The SEGO AAA Family Caregiver Support Program has the 5 core services, just as the rest. We do have a grant provided from the National Family Caregiver Support Program, the Older Americans Act. We've been recipients of CARES Act funding and also the Rescue Act funding. Maintaining the health and well-being of caregivers is an important priority of the SEGO AAA. Through this family program, we are able to provide case management support. Our case managers provide home and community-based services such as home delivered meals, attendant care, respite, and information and referrals. The AAA strength in providing these services is based upon an assessment that traditionally takes place in the client's home. Of course, all of our services have been modified due to COVID, so our case managers are reaching out by phone or Zoom call. And under these parameters, currently we continue to navigate through this pandemic. The Family Caregiver Training Support Program is so proud of TruAlta. We have partnered with an e-learning platform built specifically for caregivers. It offers skill-based instruction, heavily dementia-focused learning, and participation is by invitation. It is offered to family caregivers, and if you need more information, you can reach out to me, Karen Enriquez, Family Caregiver Support Program Coordinator, or you can go to our SEGO-AAA.trualta.com and you can ask for more information. We will definitely reach out to you. We also offer caregiver peer support. Everyone needs words of encouragement, service, and someone to vent to now and then. Caregivers often can't leave their home or they're hesitant to go out due to COVID. But caregivers from all over Graham, Greenlee, Cochise, and Santa Cruz counties are invited to Zoom in for virtual support. We meet with Pinkies Up every Tuesday at 2, and it's a perfect way for caregivers to take some time for themselves. We have a cup of tea and we chat, and all from the comfort of your home. Because caregivers are typically so often socially isolated or unable or uncomfortable to ask for help, the mingle can be the perfect solution. We're trying to build caregiver communities and link them so our caregivers can share whatever they're experiencing, and it can help to reduce their stress, validate their experiences, and provide much needed social connection. So join me, Karen Enriquez, and Delcia Acosta, a family caregiver and volunteer, as we facilitate the virtual meeting every Tuesday at 2. On occasion, we do have pop-up presenters to share caregiving resources. And on the third Tuesday of each month, Maria Ramirez Trio from AARP, who is the Associate State Director of Community Outreach. She zooms in to share excellent free classes and AARP resources. And of course, I'll also shamelessly plug our Facebook page. It's the SEGO Area Agency on Aging. That's where you can sign up for events, and you can also contact me directly. Creating communities of learning engagement, helping older adults stay connected to their communities and to each other has always been critical, and it's become even more important following the pandemic. Activities that promote social engagement have become tools to reduce social isolation. At SEGO, we created a mobile app, which is what you see on the screen. It contains all of our resource directories, a direct link to our website, and to any events that are currently going on in our region. Get set up, we've partnered with them. It offers adult learning by peers. So most of the instructors are older, and it is classes that teach tools like how to use your smartphone or healthy meals in 30 minutes or less, and how to host events on Zoom, which I probably should take a couple. We also have our Senior Connect program that was brought about to the isolation and also to address connectivity and lack of devices. Computer literacy, hesitancy, and skills are promoted in this program. We have partnered with our public libraries, and they have public Wi-Fi and devices available to help our seniors connect in to our virtual services, and also to link that our communities once again. So to direct link to the AAA. We also have our Reassurance program and our Hello Neighbor program. The Reassurance program is a volunteer-led outreach specifically targeted to address the social isolation of our caregivers. It was especially important in 2020. We made those calls, we checked on our caregivers, we provided resources, and it was one of the few things that we could do without absolutely flipping our entire program completely upside down. Hello Neighbor is targeted social outreach to our senior living communities. We go in, we provide information and resources, occasionally some swag, and we try to stay in touch with our senior living communities. Last but not least, advanced care planning. This is for adults in any stage or any stage of health to understand and share their wishes regarding future medical care. We have subcontracted with Veronica Ronnie Squires, and she is available to help you start those conversations, empower your decision making. And so for one-on-one assistance or a workshop, you can contact her directly. Again, my contact information is available. And before I go, I just want to say we appreciate and we're grateful for our federal, state, Division of Adult and Aging Services, our SEGO leadership, for all the support and guidance and advocacy that you offer. My SEGO AAA team, we work together with spirit, heart, and amazing positive energy. Our partners, our providers, our 4-county health and social service support, and our valued volunteers, you allow us to grow. So let's move forward, create a positive outcome, and appreciate and support our family caregivers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Great presentation. And next we will have Jackie Edwards.
And before Jackie starts, I would like to again apologize for this going past the normal time due to our technical difficulties. And unfortunately, that means we may lose some of our interpreters. So our ASL interpreters will, one of them has already had to leave and the other is going to be leaving us momentarily, and that may be the same for our Spanish interpreter. I'm not sure. So I do apologize that we're going to lose those supports, and just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of that.
This is the Spanish interpreter. How
Yes.
long do you think? How long do you think it will be before we finish?
We have about another 20 minutes.
Okay, I can stay until the end.
Thank you so much, Claudia.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, Jackie, are you ready?
I'm ready, yes. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Jackie Edwards. I'm the Family Caregiver Support Program Coordinator for the Intertribal Council of Arizona, Area Agency on Aging, Region 8. So I'd just like to give a little bit of background on the Intertribal Council of Arizona, or as we're known, ITCA. So ITCA was established initially to support 21 of the 22 tribal nations in Arizona. And this was born during a pretty political time, the 1950s, where there were things like the relocation era going on and Public Law 280 and things that directly affected tribal nations. So it was very important to make sure that tribes had a place at the table and they were heard statewide and federally, of course. And the intention was also to strengthen tribal governments and promote tribal sovereignty and discuss issues that directly affect tribal nations. 1965, of course, as most all of us know, the Older Americans Act is established. And in the early 70s, we become a nonprofit. ITCA becomes a nonprofit. And our Elder Advisory Board is established, which is the Arizona Indian Council on Aging, also known as ICOA. And a few years after that, our department is developed. And again, that's us, Region 8, the Area Agency on Aging. And we really look to ICOA. Representatives are made of this board, representatives and alternates for all 21 of the 22 tribes. And we listen to trends, issues, challenges they're experiencing, and see how we can support and assist them. So in 1979, when our department was established, since then we've been supporting programs for 18 of these 21 tribes with Title III and Title VII programs, and Title VI as well, which is the Native American Family Caregiver Support Program. And Title VI really mirrors Title III in terms of the caregiver program supports, like the 5 regular services, which is information, assistance, caregiver support and training, supplemental services, and respite. And also, of course, we administer the Older Americans Act programs and services, which are on the other slide. To give you a little visual in terms of our service area. So on the left, we have our regions 1 through 6 service areas. For example, we have Region 1 that serves Maricopa County, Region 2 that serves Pima County, so on and so forth. And if you'll see, the right-hand side shows the tribal boundaries. And of course, they all overlap with one of the other regions. And so far, I've been able to work really well with some of the regions. Well, the coordinators will let me know if there's an event happening and they'd like to include the tribes that we oversee. So I really appreciate that partnership we've had over the years and want to continue that, of course. These are the tribes that we serve, from Ak-Chin Indian community to the Yavapai tribes. And I also want to make sure it's clear that Navajo Nation is so large that they have their own area agency on aging program. These are the list of programs and services that we provide through our area agency on aging. There are 5 staff members that really divvy up these programs that the tribes have, and we provide technical assistance, monitoring, and we support them in any way that we can with these Title III and Title VI programs. And of course, I oversee the caregiver aspects of it, and I provide technical assistance and training, and we monitor them on a yearly basis. And the services specifically that we have in tribal communities currently are caregiver training, caregiver information and referral, caregiver outreach, respite services, the chronic disease self-management program, otherwise known as CDSMP, the diabetes self-management program, and powerful tools for caregivers. And just to give you a little snapshot on the services, the programs that I've been working on the past couple months, and I'm currently working on now. One tribe had respite service as a subcontracted service with us. And once the pandemic hit, that stopped the service in its tracks. So we had to go back to the drawing board to figure out how we were going to provide respite to these caregivers who are in need. In the meantime, we've been able to get 6 tribal staff to become direct care worker and CPR certified. So when the time comes that respite service is again allowed, we have direct care workers that are trained and ready to go. Over the summer, I had a hoarding training series that I put on. And again, pre-pandemic, just before the pandemic hit, I was going to host a pretty large hoarding event where it was like a multidisciplinary conference where we had behavioral health therapists come to talk and people from environmental departments from IHS. So I had to improvise a bit and put this on a Zoom platform. And so we were able to have, so the one presentation in June was from a behavioral health counselor giving the mental health perspective on how this became a diagnosis, why, how you can support and assist a client who has hoarding tendencies and the caregiver who provides care to them, or the caregiver themselves might be experiencing hoarding issues. And in July, we had someone from the Indian Health Services Environmental Department discuss health and safety issues as it pertains to hoarding and interventions used to combat that issue. And in August, we had the Tribal Adult Protective Services workers collaborate with the Tribal Environmental Department to talk about specifically how they assess a hoarding environment and what steps they take to intervene and help and support those families. November, which is now, next week, we'll be holding another class leader training for powerful tools for caregivers. We are supporting the teleconference pilot project we've been working on, which essentially we've received permission from the Powerful Tools for Caregivers headquarters to move it from a Zoom platform to a teleconference platform, because a lot of the rural communities either don't have access to the internet or they don't have knowledge to work Zoom or those kinds of platforms, but almost everybody has access to a telephone. So this is creating more accessibilities to the caregivers who want to participate in this workshop. So we're going to be training 3 additional tribal communities to get trained so they can put on this workshop in their communities. And then in September, we were awarded the grant for the Alzheimer's Disease Program Initiative. This is a grant that is to provide Alzheimer's education to family caregivers. And it's a 3-year grant period from September 2021 to August of 2024. We have 3 tribes to participate, and we'll be utilizing the Savvy Caregiver curriculum. These are Title VI services. Again, it's the Native American National Family Caregiver Support Program. Like I mentioned, it really mirrors the 5 main services from Title IIIe. This is Title VI-C. So again, it's support group and training services, respite, supplemental services, information assistance. And certainly above anything else, we want to thank you so much for being a dedicated caregiver. And I will place my contact information in the chat, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Jackie. And now we're into our final presentation for the day. Kinsey, your screen is a little bit oversized, Kinsey.
Oh,
there you go. That's perfect. Thank you.
Let me unshare and redo this. There we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. I know we've gone over time, and I really appreciate you sticking in and how valuable your time is as caregivers. So I am the programs director for the Desert Southwest chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. We cover all of Arizona and Southern Nevada. I've included the different counties that fall under our regional offices because they're a little bit different than our area agencies on aging. So we certainly serve all of the great state of Arizona and all Arizona caregivers dealing with Alzheimer's and dementia. So our mission is to eliminate Alzheimer's disease through the advancement of research and to provide enhanced care and support for all affected, and particularly to reduce the risk of people developing dementia through the promotion of brain health. And I want to say just up in front, all of our services are free. There is no wait list. This is for anyone who is touched by some type of dementia, whether it's living with dementia, being a caregiver, and we include both families and professionals in that. Additionally, when we say the term caregiver, we're really thinking about family, friends, this greater network that we rely on as a part of supporting a loved one with dementia. There is not a requirement for diagnoses. In fact, something that we do spend a lot of time working with families on is helping them get a diagnosis and the right diagnosis, because we know how difficult it can be for many of our families. We have a whole host of different types of support programs, our 24/7 helpline, education, support groups, our early stage programs, and safety services. So I'll talk in more detail about our helpline, education, and support groups, but I'll touch briefly right now on early stage and safety services. Alzheimer's and dementia, as many of you know, is incredibly isolating. And we also know that there is a significance to the engagement in community for people living with Alzheimer's and dementia. And unfortunately, COVID-19 has proven that fact further than we ever wanted to know. We have seen significant declines in those living with dementia, and we've lost many people living with dementia, not directly to COVID, but those unanticipated, unintended realities of social isolation. Our safety, so we really want to make sure that we create enriching activities where people can come together and just have a good time In our early stage programs, we don't require you to even talk about the realities of living with dementia, caregiving for someone with dementia, but really just an opportunity to come together and just enjoy company of other people who understand. Our safety services, we have two areas we're focused on. One is through Medical Alert Safe Return. 6 out of 10 people living with dementia will have a wandering incident. It's really important for us that our caregivers and families have something that helps create some calm and reassurance should their loved one be found in the community by someone else, that they'll be contacted directly. So we really do support the Medical Alert Safe Return program. And we also offer an online training for our first responders. I won't go into significant detail about that, but they are designed for our EMTs, fire departments, and police departments. And we really encourage that, you know, all of our first responders are trained in responding to someone living with dementia, because it can look like a lot of other things. And the last thing we want is the justice system involved with our loved ones while they're going through a crisis. So the Alzheimer's Association is here all day, every day, 24/7, 365 days a year. The reality is that caregiving and dementia is not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and therefore we cannot be either. The easiest way to get connected to all of our services is by calling our 1-800 number, and I'll be sure to put that in the chat along with my contact information. But it's 1-800-272-3900. I also highly recommend, if you're new to this journey or you're at a new phase in dealing with this journey, our website, www.alz.org, has a wealth of information. Not everyone is super comfortable picking up the phone and calling people, or just going online and signing up for a support group or an early stage activity. So please go to our website. There's so much information. And our 24/7 helpline is really for you all along the journey. The reality is that there are some things that we can help you plan for and think through, but there will always be things that come up that we didn't think about. And we're here for whatever you need, whenever you need it. Even if it's just, I need someone to talk to who can listen to me with an open mind and an open heart. That's what we're here for. We know that sometimes it is hard to find people to talk to. So the association is here. Our staff that work on the contact center are master level trained clinicians, but we'll also get you connected to local resources and make sure that we help you prepare for everything that you may need support in. So as I mentioned, not everyone wants to pick up and call a number, but we also offer education programs. They're usually an hour or an hour and a half. They are right now 100% virtual. We do have a series of presentations we have scheduled each month. You can find them by going to alz.org/DSW/education. That's for our local presentations where you have live presenters coming from our communities. I do want to point out that we have a special series going on right now, specifically addressing caregiving during the holidays. One is specifically on managing caregiver stress during the holidays. Listen, holidays are great, right? They're a beautiful time. They're very positive experiences by and large, but they're stressful. And there are changes in our day-to-day activities, which can be very upsetting and distressing for our loved ones with dementia. Having lots of people in the home can be overwhelming on all fronts. So we've got some great tips and tricks and recommendations for you to make it through the holidays and it to be as positive as an experience as possible, right? We also recognize that we don't always offer our educational presentations that work best with your time. So we do have our pre-recorded presentations for your convenience. And then finally, we offer a whole host of support groups. As you can see, we have over 40 telephone-based groups throughout Arizona. So we promise there will be a day and time that you can find to connect with us. And as all of my colleagues have said already today, these are great opportunities to connect with other caregivers who are going through the same things. It's an opportunity for you to hear and share all those hard-earned lessons that you have figured out in surviving as a caregiver. So we do think there's such a great support that you can get that we at the association alone just can't give when it comes to connecting with other people going through this journey as well. We do have a small number of support groups that are meeting in person in the greater Phoenix area. Again, for the most updated information, alls.org/DSW/support groups. We hope you'll think about coming to one of those. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about one of the biggest things we do every year, and that's our walk. It is an opportunity to finally really feel like you're a part of something bigger, that you are not alone, really is the biggest piece of this. So our largest walk is here in Phoenix. It is this Saturday, November 6th. I've got the link for you to check out. You do not need to raise money, although it is a fundraising event. We'd love to just have you come out and be together with others. We also have our last walk of the season, which is in Yuma. It's a beautiful West Wetland Park. That is going to be the following Saturday, November 13th. Again, this is an opportunity to come together with other people who are going through the same journey and to know that you're truly not alone in this. So if this is something you'd be comfortable with, it is outside, it is in person. We'd love to have you there. So again, I just wanted to remind everyone, 1-800-272-3900 is the fastest and easiest way to connect with us. And we'll make sure that we get you connected to our local teams. But again, just here for whatever you may need. If you just need to talk, that's what we're here to do. So thank you again so much for hanging in there with us. I know we went over time, but I really appreciate you being here. I know how challenging the caregiving journey is, and we're here for you. So thank you so much. And I will pass it along to closing, I think.
Thank you very much, Kinsey. Great information, and definitely the Alzheimer's Association is always a great resource and partner. So I appreciate your presentation. And now for the closing, I'll go ahead and share my screen. You will see this image probably a few different times. We want to share it in terms of, it's a foam board, and each of the area agencies on aging have a goodie bag for this event and this image here. We are truly honored to have family caregivers join us today. We want to recognize and celebrate your time, your sacrifice, and your dedication to providing unpaid care for your loved ones or your loved one. Without your assistance, the individuals you care for would not have your selfless care and their own opportunity to continue to remain in their homes. We hope you were able to connect with the organizations in your community, as well as the statewide agencies that continue to serve your communities. One of the biggest focuses of this event was to provide a direct contact, a direct link to someone who will be able to speak about family caregiver resources and programs. You heard from the 7 area agencies on aging that are actively working to work on services for the Older Americans Act funding and deliver those federal funds and deliver services directly to your communities. Everything you heard today is as a result of a combination of funding, but these are federal tax dollars at work in your communities. So please reach out, connect, and stay connected. That is one of the biggest things that we can ask of family caregivers. The virtual caregiver celebration was brought to you by the collaboration of the Division of Aging and Adult Services, Division of Developmental Disabilities, Arizona Caregiver Coalition, the Area Agencies on Aging, and the Alzheimer's Association. I want to thank my colleagues for continuing to expand programs and services and increase supports for clients and their family caregivers. They truly do work hard and are also deserving of a great round of applause for all the work that they do and all the services they bring to your particular communities. We encourage you, the family caregiver, to connect with your local area agencies on aging, DDD, the Alzheimer's Association, or the Arizona Caregiver Coalition. But in this instance, please contact your local area agency on aging to pick up a swag bag, and that includes a t-shirt and other items, as well as a full foam board that you see on my screen. Please know that the foam board that is inserted is meant for selfies or other pictures that can be posted with the hashtag Arizona Caregiver for the month of November. We hope that you were able to find some resources and programs and services that you may be interested in to help you succeed in your caregiving journey. We are always here. Feel free to reach out. At the Division of Aging and Adult Services, you can reach us via webpage for many of the programs that we also offer. And if there are no questions at this time, I want to thank you, and especially my colleagues for their presentations, family caregivers for your time. Have a wonderful day.